role to play. I want to change the conversation to talk about something which is near and dear to me, about your foundation, and especially the primary focus is mission and goals and objective. As you know, as I understand, your foundation is empowering girls. So the girls cannot stay in the four walls. They can determine their own destiny. Because to me, the girls are the promise and potential of not only of India, but the whole world, because it empowers their mind, uplifts the soul. Do you believe that the thing which you're doing it for the empowering the girls is the bridge to the future and also key to the opportunity, and it's a gift that will keep on giving? So shed some light on that. And you know, the girls in India, especially in Bihar, are trapped in poverty because of lack of education.
No,
It's very
absolutely.
dear to me, the education for women, for girls.
Excellent. Uh, so let me break that up into two parts. I mean,
Okay.
first education, and then education for girls. And I think, as you pointed out, both are critical. I mean, I think you believe, and I believe, that if there's one thing which can transform lives, it's education. I mean, some may argue that winning a lottery might help you, but one hears so many people becoming alcoholics and with broken marriages after lottery. But leaving that aside, education has a transformative impact on lives. They can change, take you from point A to point B, which you can't even dream about. And I think your life, uh, I mean, you just need, your life illustrates that, is a manifestation of that uh, more than anything else. So education is key and education is critical. So why girls' education? I mean, there's a cliche about this. If you educate a boy, you're educating a man. If you educate a girl, you're educating a family.
Right.
And if you want society to change on a fast track and jump generations, then I think the key is to educate the womanhood. And today's girl is tomorrow's mother.
That is
And
very well
therefore,
said.
so I think that is why it's so critical that girls get an education. And these girls, we are talking about in Champaran, they're rural girls. They come from poor background. So the objective is twofold. One is, of course, to make them competent so that they have agency. They can decide for themselves. They can live full lives as educated citizens. But also, we hope that they can get into professions. And women participation in the labor force in India is abysmally low. And some of the marginal communities we are working with, which are Dalits and Muslims and backwards, uh, they're even lower than that. So it's absolutely critical that we do this.
Very well said. As you know, Mr. Hoda, I crossed the Atlantic Ocean to get an education, to aim high, work hard, and achieve the American dream. And so can they, because they have every right to pursue their dream. Very well said. Let me change the conversation to about your political engagement, that
Mhm.
you started a political party, the state of Bihar. What is the goal of this party and why you engage in politics? Do you believe that politics define the landscape of a nation? Do you believe that it creates a common cause? Do you believe it unifies the people? And is your party interested in giving a voice to those who are voiceless, to those who are underprivileged, to those who are poor and hungry? Is that what you're doing in terms of your party?
I couldn't have summarized it better, Mr. Slav. Look, I've been working in the field now for 4 years, for 5 years. And in addition to education, we're also doing some employment generation work. But it's very clear to me that without a political voice or political strength and ultimately political power, you can't bend the activities of the government. And there is a scale issue in what we are doing. I mean, we can set up 3 schools, 5 schools, 15 schools. I can't set up 500 schools. So if I have to get to that scale, it has to be through the government system. Similarly for job creation. So one is the need we felt that we needed that political strength to be able to deliver on what we want. The second is the people we work with and whom we want to represent. As you define them, they have been pushed to the political margin. I mean, if you have been watching the Indian political scene on the landscape, primarily Dalits and I would say Muslims, they have become sort of a political untouchable, if you will. And nobody wants to say that, we want your vote because they think they will alienate the sort of larger sections of community. They need a voice. They need their own power. They need the ability to take their own decisions. And it's basically because of all these things that we have formed a social coalition with other people from other communities. And we have floated a party. It's called the Jan Sangharsh Dal, which means People Struggle Party.
Wow, it's a very well said. So people who are struggling and sacrificing. I'm sort of in agreement with you. You're building a party that benefits to all, rather than benefits to as opposed to few people. That's what you're saying, and you are giving the voice because you're right that the current situation in India is filled with hatred and bigotry against the Dalit and the Muslims and minorities, and that must change. In attack on one faith is attack on all faith, and we are tearing apart the harmonious fabric of nation that has been global beacon of hope for democracy and secularism in the world. Correct?
No, absolutely. And I mean, one sort of comes to it by thinking that, in our own way, try and use the democratic processes to push back on that challenge to a plural, inclusive, secular India. And secondly, if we don't do it, who will do it?
Right.
I have the means and the education and the strength to do it. So we have to do it.
You pointed out the diversity. Diversity brings the people together. And when you're together, you can help shape a better future for India that becomes a more increasingly tolerant and inclusive society. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for coming. This is Frank Islam, wishing you a great week. Thank you for watching.